This is good. This is good. Hey, we're live. I'm Tom Sinclair, head of the Streaming Idiots, and we're coming to you live from Eastern Shore Studios in Fairhope, Alabama, with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about the software switcher out there from Australia called vMix. vMix HD version 13 is what we're using today. We're actually using that to control our cameras and add the overlays and the music and all that other good stuff. And let's see if we can take that music out. Boy, I love it, but sometimes it just gets in the way. Anyway, we're using vMix to do all that cool stuff, and then we're using Wirecast to take the output from vMix and to stream it, encode it, and record it. So it's kind of a nice handoff situations going on there. vMix suffers from one of the same kind of, what would you call it? It's not really a fault. It's just sort of a temporary shortcoming, maybe, that VidBlaster used to have a problem with, and that is that it relied on Flash Media Live Encoder for its streaming. And Flash Media Live Encoder is a pig. It is a hog so far as CPU cycles is concerned. And so VidBlaster just recently fixed that by going to FFmpeg and using that as its main streaming engine. And so if you get the VidBlaster version 3.26, you will get the newest, the latest streaming, the latest streamer rather. So you can check that VidBlaster Guy, which is one of my other shows, and we talked about that last week and again a little bit in the earlier show today. But today we're going to be talking about vMix, and I'm going to let you kind of stumble through with me as we kind of poke into the corners and see what's around. Today we're going to look at Chroma Key, and we're going to look at what do you call them? Virtual sets. Now the way vMix works, and let me dial up the desktop here for you. And we can just do a cut. There we go, right there. You see in the top left-hand corner, me. I'm in the preview pane. And then over to my right, or my, I guess, anyway, over to the right, you see the program pane, but it's kind of going into infinity because it's showing itself time and time again. And then directly below me are the inputs, and then over to the right below that is the audio mixer and the audio there. But we're not going to be concerned with audio today. Audio is not important, says Mike Phillips. We do have another camera available to us, and that's this cam right here, you can see. And I can go directly from one shot to another by clicking the cut button on the, I guess we're going to call them inputs. In VidBlaster, they'd be called modules. And we've got one input down here that is the one in blue, and I'm going to cut straight to it. It's this one right here. That is actually a combination of this camera shot right here, where I've keyed out the background, and then here I have put that all together. Now there's a little button that looks like a gear down here, and let me go back to the this wide shot, and I'm going to bring up that menu, and this is in the input that is the graphic that's in the background right here. In that graphic in the background is the studio set that my good friend Dr. Charles Campbell from West Columbia, South Carolina gave me. Thank you, Charles. I still appreciate it. And I am on the multi-view screen of this input settings, the input, and that's the file name right there. And I have selected as the Logitech HD Pro Webcam 920. I actually have two of those. I'll show you on the drop down. The top one is the multi-screen function, so if I click on that, it basically just cuts to that camera because there's nothing that's keyed out. But if I'll slide down to the second one that appears, we'll see I've got that one there. Now I've also got another shot, which is a video that I made earlier of my evil twin, and I can put him here. He must not be set up for Chroma Key, so we'll let him go. There we go. That's the lower third, and we'll go back there. There we go. I can also add, I think I can add that lower third here. There we go. So that I've now got my lower third and my background all in one shot. And as I go back here and we'll click to cut, we'll go straight to that shot. And so this is similar, if you're a VidBlaster person, similar to an effects module where you can kind of build your shots. Here I've got the backdrop, the camera shot, and then the lower third, all now in one drop, in one input in vMix, and it starts from the back forward. And so it starts, actually, let's go back here. It starts, I don't know if you can see my cursor down here. I think my cursor is invisible. But the red input down there where you can see me waving, not the big red one, but the small red one, that's the AVI, video file. So we've got that there. So now we've got one good shot. This is, kind of my main shot that I like. We're going to come over and take my evil twin, and we're going to set him up. He's supposed to be behaving. He's actually in another room right now. I'm not sure that he can hear me. My room is pretty well soundproofed, so we'll call him in just a minute. But what we want to do with him is we want to go ahead and key out his background. And boy, this guy's got no patience at all. Anyway, anyway, you can see what he is. So we're going to go to the main shot there, and we're going to go to his settings window. We're going to go to the color key, and we'll click the little eyedropper here, and then I can select any of his background right there, and I'll click Chroma Key, and then we'll key out the background, and he should be set up so when we go to him, he's now got the backdrop. He's not very patient, but he's in the other room. So anyway, okay, so we've got two shots now. One shot is my evil twin in the other room, and the other shot is me, both of which have got background keyed out. So we've just done a little prep work right there. So we're going to go down in the bottom left-hand corner, and this is kind of where everything with vMix starts, here in the bottom left-hand corner, and we're going to add an input. Now, you really can't do anything with vMix until you have an input. And that was my cell phone. Sorry about that. Forgot to put it on stun before we got out of there. That is just too funny. Too funny. We'll turn that one down right there. All of a sudden I'm looking around wondering, what in the world? Okay, so we're down here and we're going to add an input, and we've got multiple choices for inputs. We've got video, DVDs, lists, cameras, desktop capture. The list will go on and on. What we want right now, though, is we want a virtual set, which is right down at the bottom of the list. And by clicking this, we bring up a variety of virtual sets. Now, some of them are just side-by-side shots, and others of them are really sets. So we're going to take this one down here, the new studio set, and we're going to work with it and click OK. And that adds kind of an expanded input to our desktop. So we've now got, and again, I don't know that you can see my cursor, so you'll just have to trust me. At the very bottom row of inputs, the one with the blue top, is the new studio, and then to the right of that you may see 4 tiny little camera kind of things. Above that is the word camera highlighted in green, and that allows us to shift our camera and let's go ahead and just cut to that shot. That's our virtual set, and we can zoom to different parts of that set just by clicking on the part that's zoomed, and we can set how fast it zooms by going from the F, which would be of course fast, to the M, which we would imagine would be medium, to the S, which would be slow, and the C you think might be custom, and I guess it could be, but it also is cut, so you go flash right to it. So let's stay with that shot for just a second, and let's go into the setup. We'll come back to that, and we'll go to the setup mode. And our first choice under setup is layers. And remember, things go from the back to the front. So one of the first things we can play with is the background. We're not going to play with the background, but we are going to click that drop down box, and we've got a choice of the background, the screen, the frame, the talent, and the foreground. Well, obviously we want to put the talent in because that's me, and the talent input is the second of the two Logitech cameras. So we'll put that in right there, and if we've done it correctly, I should appear. There I am. Very good. And we'll go ahead and cut this so you can see it. It looks like I'm kind of looking out over the desk, so we'll fix that here. Let's go back to the main shot, and I am going to just come over and basically click on myself and lift myself up. Now, as you could tell, I was a little too big for this little desky thing right here. Let's see, let's bring it right there. So I can hold down the Shift key and then move my cursor to the left, which makes me smaller. And now I can kind of position myself in a place. I really should stand up a little taller. There we go. And I can actually probably be a little bit smaller. That would be right for that desk. If I were doing this for real production, I would have a Chroma Key that would show a little bit more body. And as you notice, when I go out past a certain point, that's the edge of the Chroma Key, because that's the edge of the input. Let's see. Let's put this one up so you can see better. So that's that's the edge right there of the input module. So I have to stay in that little box. Now let's go back to camera for just a second, and let's go to, yeah, we'll go to that big. Yeah, I'm still too big in that. So we'll go back to setup and shrink me down a little bit more, and then put me down there. Now what I really would like to do next, since I'm in setup, I'm going to go to screen, which is that screen with the A in the background behind me, and I really would like to put my evil twin back there, and he sets right like that. We can put a background in for him. We'll do that in just a second, and so we'll have to, hopefully he will behave while we do all this. Let's see. I think I need to make myself really still a little smaller. So let's go to this shot right there, and see if I can't make that go a little bit. Oops, wrong guy. We'll have to change over to talent. And make the talent a little bit smaller. There we go. Now I'm really not very happy. Let's go back to that shot. I'm really not very happy with how big the evil twin is behind me. So I'm going to take him and I'm going to move his screen a little bit, and I think I'm going to make it smaller. So we're going to take him and we're going to move him out of the, out of the way. We're going to take the frame, we're going to make it smaller and move it out of the way so that he's not quite as prominent in that place as he might be. Yeah, there we go. Now I would like to add some text down here below me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to input, add input, and I'm going to add a title /XAML. So we'll click on that, and we see we've got great lower thirds to choose from. We've got animated lower thirds to choose from. We've got a scoreboard, we've got a timer, we've got a ticker, and we have something called text. So we're going to take text right here, and we're going to add that. Whoops, file name can't be left blank. Let's try again. Text ticker, and we'll click OK. And then if this is going to be, we'll just add a quick message here. Yeah, we want this to say Streaming Idiots TV. How about that? And we'll choose a font. Let's choose a big black bold font. We got, how about impact right there? And we'll do that there. And then the title, we don't want a title, so we'll just take that out, leave that out. And this is what we call live. That is, it is ready to go if we had a place to put it. So let's go back to our new studio and see if we can't lay this in there. And you see it's a little high as it comes in right up in here. We'd like to drop it down into that blue box and see if we can't get it into a spot that's a little nicer. So we're going to right click on that, select title editor, and there may be a better way of doing that, but if we can put just a couple of carriage returns in here and then maybe decrease our font size a little bit, we'll get it right. There may be a way to take that, whoops, we can take that off now, to take that text and move it the same way we moved the screen, or rather the way we moved my image and the image of my evil twin, but I haven't seemed to locate that yet. So carriage returns, or pressing enter to add a line. Only the old folks understand what I mean when I say a carriage return. But adding a line seemed to be the only way to do it. So we can go back to our virtual set and add in our Streaming Idiots, and now we have that. And one of our friends in the chat room says there is an internal title editor for changing the text, and we just saw that. There's also an external title editor where you can change almost anything else, like the graphics positions and so on. So we'll have to explore that in the future and see how well that does. But you can see that you can build a set. You have some choice over where those portions of the set may be. We can take this friendly fella down and make him part of our show if we wanted to. I don't know why we would want to, but I guess we could. And actually take our frame and take it out. So now it's the two of us. So we can say, you know, it's all yours. Take it away. And then, of course, one of the beauties of that is that, you know, that you can use the zoom. We can set up we can customize a zoom so that it'll zoom just on one of us or the other of us. And I haven't played with that quite enough to know how that would work. But that would allow the camera to focus down just on me in this left-hand position, or just on him in that position. So you can set up these sort of pre-configured zooms. So it's not like you're zooming it manually, but you're basically just clicking a button and it zooms into that position in the same way that we would click a button here. Let's see, let's go to a slower transition. And we would have the zooming effect here. As you can see, the Chroma Key is a really good key. The video that I took earlier of actually, truth be told, that is video, and that is not a live person in the other room. But he seems to be somewhat of a doubter. Anyway, suffice to say that there we go. That there are a lot of nice ways to do it. Let's see. Let's go to the setup. Camera. And yeah, there we go. And I've got the ability to bear with me just 1 second. We'll see if we can't get it to zoom just in on just one person there. There we go, and see if that'll work. There we go. So I could get it to zoom a little tighter with a little bit more work, but it really wasn't very difficult to get that to work like that. Let's see. Let's go back out to that one, and we'll go back to the main shot, and then with the click of a button. Still got that other guy in the shot. Tell you what, I just can't seem to get rid of him. Anyway, you get the idea that it can happen pretty quickly. It can happen pretty easily, and it's a pretty nice feature. There we go. Got rid of him altogether. And as somebody in the chat room says, it's streaming idiot proof. And it may be streaming idiot proof, but I'll tell you, I saved all this as a preset, and then exited the program so that I could do the VidBlaster Guy show, and then came back and loaded the preset, and it had changed. Several things had changed, and so it took me a little while to get things configured again, which was a little embarrassing, but nevertheless, is this guy annoying you as much as he is annoying me? Let's go back to this one. How about it was a little, I mean, obviously in a live show you don't want to have to be playing around and configuring things. So if you're using vMix and you're counting on the presets being set the way you left them, you better give yourself a few extra minutes to double check them before you start, because my experience today was that the presets were not as I had set them this morning and then saved them. Now it certainly is possible I didn't save them. You know, I guess there's not you can't blame everything on the software, although I'd like to if I could. Anyway, okay, well, that kind of brings us to the end of this segment. Today we looked at vMix HD version 13, specifically about virtual sets and Chroma Key. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate any comments that you might have. Tom at streamingidiots.com. We'll continue to look at vMix and Wirecast and VidBlaster in the days, weeks, and months to come, as well as cameras and capture cards and mixers and CDNs and all the other parts of the streaming puzzle. One or two side notes. Kind of under the news category, VidBlaster has come out with a special edition now that is a non-watermarked version available for free if you use Sunday Streams, sundaystreams.com, to if you sign up for one of their I think they're a paid CDN, and they will provide you with the VidBlaster Special Edition software to use absolutely free with your subscription to Sunday Streams. So check out sundaystreams.com for more information on that, and you can get your free VidBlaster there. You can also download VidBlaster from the VidBlaster forum. That's forum.vidblaster.com. You can get a trial edition there. Has a little logo in the top right-hand corner. That's not too bad. You can also get a free copy of vMix. It's the basic edition, so it's just standard definition, and it's limited in its function. But go to vmix.com.au and you can get the free version there. And then, of course, you can get a trial version of Wirecast that has I think a watermark on it as well. Telestream.wirecast.com, and get information there. So lots of great software out there. Great to see so many strong players. It's going to make everybody, it's going to make everybody better. I'm rooting for everybody here. It's when we all win, and that's important. So on behalf of me and my evil twin, I want to thank you for tuning in today, and look forward to having you again next time on Streaming Idiots. Take care.